Let me talk about who are the people who are organizing this event. You all know, you all proud members of our Indian Society of Management Accountants. Our whole objective is an open forum from professionals who are involved in cost and management accounting, and we integrate accounting to our day-to-day leadership and management skills to achieve greater business success as a business partner. And as you know, ISMA has been organizing many workshops, seminars, webinars with the whole intention of adding value to the open forum members. If you have the sharing learning attitude, you are there to join. I'm representing Infinity Forum as the word infinity, and today's talk is really resonates with the infinity. It's the universe is there to give you the infinity opportunities and possibilities. So we started Infinity Forum with the intention of purely sharing and learning in the area of investment to start with. Then we moved into entrepreneurship, startup, masterclass series, a drop of inspiration, fit for life, and then we have a subgroups like that. We have more than 200 plus members. Only by invitation we take them. The whole intention is in that form and manner, that is sharing and learning as a way of life. So we have now in Singapore these operations. We plan to start our branches in Dubai and US in the coming year. You also know the third institution, which is very, very prominent, which is Bharatiya Global MSME. This is a premier platform established with the whole objective of the micro, small, and medium enterprise, which is the lifeblood of any country, more so for India. And this forum really helps in policy implementation so that the Make in India model, which the PM is propagating, and we support that, and what will facilitate. So we are the champions in collecting the members' feedback and able to give the feedback and make policy amendments and encouraging MSME to avail whole lot of incentives which are available, because there are many places they are not even aware. So make them aware and also get the government schemes so that they can grow their business and investment opportunities and really make India proud with Make in India movement. So these are the three institutions which joined together in giving this interesting program. Now let me briefly mention about myself. I am Venkat Padmanabhan, Venkat people call me. I'm based in Singapore. For my day job, of course, I am working for a company called Wellbeing International as President Finance. But of course, my whole life motto, the why I exist, is for sharing and learning. That's my motto. And then I'm like a child, very curious to learn, and I'm also looking forward to today's session. Now let's talk about today's program. It's going to be so fascinating because when I read through about the speaker and the topic which he's going to touch, and I'm really wondering how he's going to cover it in 75 minutes, but I know he's capable of doing that in giving the gist and extract to us so that we can take back and put to practice. It's not listening, it's not hearing, but it's going to be part of it, what we are going to learn from him. So the word which he's calling it as total quality person. We heard about total quality program for companies and products, but as a person, how you can become a full-fledged quality-oriented person, which is nothing but the why of our existence, how we achieve it, what we communicate. It is not the words that matters, and what more matters, the efficiency matters, how do you manage your time, and so on and so forth. I don't want to steal the thunder, but he's got a whole lot of areas which he's going to touch upon and share this program. So with that, for the question answer session, I request all of you to put up your comments and questions as the speaker speaks in the chat box. Let's allow the speaker to finish his session. Then I will moderate the question answers, combine it and then get that answers for you to take it. With that, let me invite our dynamic CMA, Dr. Amarendra Kumar, who is the president of ISMA and also finance advisor to DXC Technology, for his welcome address. Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. And thanks for your presence to moderating today's program. And good morning, everyone. So we are so glad to have you all here this morning to start the day with wonderful topic of today's webinar, Total Quality Person, Happiness and Well-being for Professionals. So we appreciate your presence, and I feel honored to welcome all the participants and dignitaries present here. So friends, the concept of total quality persons is a spiritual, value-based and powerful philosophy that would be going to be main highlight of today's program. The idea is everything begins with the self. Imagine the quality of our relationships and the richness of life. If we play our role with a clear understanding of who am I, why am I here, and what is the purpose of my life. So, friends, this is all about today's program. We are so excited to listen TQP expert Dr. C.V. Ramanan have today with us, going to illustrate us how peaceful and balanced mind can enrich in our personal and professional relationships and make them enriching and contribute in our workplace for enhanced productivity. So let's welcome our eminent speaker, Dr. C.V. Ramanan. So it is moment of extreme pleasure. Welcome you, sir. So we feel great proud. We feel great proud so that this conference has been witnessed with CMA Dr. Pankaj Gupta. We are so honored to have him as the chief guest for this morning. CMA Dr. Pankaj Gupta is not only a well-known global academic leader however, also known for practicing and teaching meditation, mindfulness, Yogendra inner journey, a part of his professional expertise of accounting and finance area. On behalf of everyone present here, I extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, CMA Dr. Pankaj Gupta. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
So once again, friends, I welcome all of you and thank you for taking a keen part in this important program. I am sure that you all will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this event. Hope that you all will have a great time ahead. Thank you, all of you. So hand
Thank
over
you.
to moderator, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Amarendra Kumar, for your welcome address. Excellent. So I have taken the privilege, great privilege, in introducing our speaker for today, Dr. C.V. Ramanan. The word, the name you all familiar with. He's a director of IIM, has done his BTech from Delhi College of Engineering, MBA from University Business School, UBS, Chandigarh. He has done his PhD in Vivek Management Life Skills based on Indian ethos. What a great profile. He has got around 40 years of rich experience in practicing what he is going to preach today, which includes senior positions in the corporate world. He was a professor and director of Value-Based Management Institute for nearly a decade. And in his teaching, he blended modern thoughts with eternal values, which is very, very important. He was also a director of ISDD for about 6 years. Dr. Raman has conducted, can you take a guess? He has conducted more than 800 TQP workshops over the last 25 years with all segments of people in about 30 cities across India. And he was the only invited speaker from India in Dubai at IFTD 2018, for a worldwide audience he is addressed. He was honored by a university and got the best teacher, trainer, and healer award for his ability to relate it to spirituality and values through his unique concept called total quality person. So you all, after completing the course, you can add your, after your TQP. I'm just joking, but that's what you're going to get immersed in this. Thank you so much, Dr. C. Brahmanan, for agreeing to speak in this August gathering. Let me also take the privilege of briefly introducing our chief guest, Dr. Pankaj Gupta, a global academic leader with successful professional experiences more than 25 years. He is also a professor, researcher, and an institution builder. Dr. Gupta is currently a professor at JGLS and Dean at OCS at OP Jindal Global University, an institution of eminence, which we all are aware. Earlier, he was the president of IIHMR University. He has earlier served in various senior positions at several top organizations such as IMD Ghaziabad, IIM Kozhikode, Symbiosis, University of Washington, SPJ in Dubai and Singapore branch, among others. He teaches courses that does research in the area of finance, cost management, and very relevant today, mindful leadership, mental and spiritual health. He has created enough self-awareness through his teachings and ethics. These are the topics he's taught to us. Dr. Gupta is a PhD, Fulbright Fellow, CMA, GCBCL, Harvard, Fellow of ICI, and alumnus of Lucknow University, IIM Ahmedabad. I can go on for the whole day. I'll stop here. Welcome you, our honorable chief guest. So we have such eminent people with us. With that, let me invite our chief guest, Pankaj Gupta, to deliver his special address.
Venkataji, can you hear me?
Yes, very well,
Yes.
Pankaj.
Okay. Thank you so much, Venkataji and Amrenji, Pankaj Jainji, and all very great, distinguished people who have joined here from different parts of the world. So I'm really so deeply honored. And also this topic is very, very close to my heart. As Venkataji mentioned, that I have been, I have headed many organizations as CEO, group CEO, Director General, President, Vice Chancellor, and many, God has given me great opportunities. And I have only followed one thing. And also, it is really a great delight to be part of a discussion where C.V. Ramananji is giving a talk, and I have very, very great regard for him. And I'm aware about his work and research on total quality people. So it is indeed a great pleasure and honor. Last Sunday, I was invited by the Tibet House, and where a similar kind of topic was there. So I feel again blessed that this weekend is also very, very blessed. That I'm going to listen something great from Ramanan Sahab, and also to learn from his vast knowledge and wisdom. So I'll be just making a few comments, as Amrenji had mentioned to me that I have to, though there's no question of any chief guest because the chief guest is Ramanan Sahab only. But since Amren Sahab, with whom I have very long personal relation and I have great regard for him, and also for Pankajji and all of you, I thought it was a great idea to learn something over here. So I just want to share from my personal experience that there is a time when you are running, you do not know why you are running. People may call it rat race, donkey race, whatever race you see. I get reminded that, sometimes you see in a night, you go to a place and suddenly, when your car start moving, then some dog will start, chasing you. Chalu ho jayenge, bhaw, bhaw, bhaw. And then somebody may ask, why these dogs are chasing this car. So somebody said, I don't know, it was written by some author. He said, do you think that this dog will be able to catch the car? So somebody said, that I'm not surprised whether this dog will be able to catch the car, but what he will do with that car. So sometimes we are also in that kind of a race, getting crores and, multi-million, billion, 100,000 crores worth of market valuation. And what kind of life you're living, a miserable life. Your health is gone for a toss. Your wife has started dating somebody else. Your children are totally disaligned. And, you are thinking, I hope that some people will be able to understand a little bit of Hindi, I hope. Because certain expressions are better suited there. So I want to say that what is real and what is unreal, that distinction is very important, because these days I have also started teaching a course which is known as a mindful finance. All my life, whether I was in India or in US, and I started very small from a place, Lucknow. And for a very large part of my life, I was only traveling Lucknow to Kanpur because Kanpur was a place where my maternal uncle and Nani's place was there. But after that, वो निकले, Delhi I, and then, I got Fulbright. I went to the US, and then I had a desire to be traveling about 50 countries, and I have already covered 54, teaching in many parts of the world. And chasing all my financial targets, you know, all that got completed when I was just 35. Still, that the basic thing, the sense of emptiness had not gone. Wanted more and more, all the time searching. So then I also got, a little bit of insights where I got some anxiety attacks sometime, and then a near-death experience. And after that, I spent a lot of time in silence in the Himalayas, in a place known as Chopta near Kedarnath. And then I have, been searching for meaning, and then I became a meditator. I also became a Osho sannyasi. Then I also became a heartfulness meditator. Went to the Amrit Yoga Institute in Florida, learned the Yoga Nidra, and like that. As I got evolved as a human being. Then I realized what is the real wealth. And then I realized that all the real wealth is already lying within me. And I get reminded to the saying that in Indian, when India was known to be like the Sone ki Chidiya, when we were so wealthy, and the GDP of India and China, was more than 50% in the whole world. And you know that US GDP is also, even in this moment, is not more than 18%. So when India was at the height of that prosperity, anyway, America was not born at that time. So when we were having that kind of great, material wealth as well, other than the spiritual wealth and inner wealth, at that moment, do you know what was the basic idea behind the wealth? And that was summarized by one small couplet that says, Gaudan, Gajadhan, Bajadhan, or Ratan Dhan Khan, but jab aave Santosh Dhan, Sab Dhan Dhuri Saman. So, elephant capital, cow capital, eagle capital, and all precious stones are on one side. But when you have the satisfaction capital, then all the wealth is meaningless. So when you have this kind of philosophy embedded in you, and then you are also rolling in the height of, the economic prosperity. But nowadays you see what is there all the time: money, money, money. Money is the honey of man or a woman. So at that time, where are you? You drop to 1%. And now I think it is around 3%. So question is very, very important that, when you start with a being, with a feeling of all is well, जैसे एक मूवी भी था ना, 3 Idiot, वो कहता ना जब भी कोई प्रॉब्लम, all is well, all is well. It has a great power actually within you. When you feel that something is missing and you start searching, oh, you are not good enough, then it create a different kind of panic reaction, and then the ira and pingala and all that get disturbed. And when you have this feeling that all is well, and one of my mentor used to say कि जो प्राप्त है वो पर्याप्त है, whatever is given is enough for you. And if you already start with that domain, then you can achieve anything. And not only talking about only the money, but the meaning in life. So in my, I would have remained there. I also went to the Tiger Hill in Bhutan, where I meditated for a long time. So when I came back, I started working for the meaning in life. I started teaching courses like self-awareness and mindful leadership. Another course is like money to meaning, success to significance, learning advocacy in management through Bhagavad Gita. And believe me, I have many books, many papers. I have my book on management accounting, which has sold more than 300,000 copies. I used to feel so much proud about these achievements. But nowadays I feel it is more of, if I can be the instrument of God or whatever is the bigger power to create sense of goodness and meaning, and my happiness is much more. So we talk about creating a balanced scorecard for the organizations, but do we also create a balanced scorecard for oneself? Like, what is my role and responsibility for my parents, my wife, my children, my, the neighborhood, my, the society? And if we start thinking this way, and then things will start coming, because otherwise we are focusing on the things which are unreal many times. And believe me, anything which can be taken away from you is not real. You then think about your money, your position, your power. Believe me, my dear friends, it all can be taken away. So, but your swabhav, swadharma, that cannot be taken away by anyone. So that is what we saw this, corona pandemic. We know people have been, you know, under a lot of stress and trouble. But what is swasth? Swasth is simply swa me sthit, somebody who is centered in self. So the whole life is not enough to understand what is self. And when you truly understand what is self, then nothing else is required to be known, because you know each and everything is already within you. So that is why, when I started when I teach this course on ancient wisdom, I teach very important things from Bhagavad Gita, Bible, Quran, Bulle Shah, Kabir, Khalil Gibran, Rumi, Tao Te Ching, like that. So for me, I will not say that I am a Hindu, so I should not be learning good lessons from, the Quran or Bible. So we are a human being, and we have the infinite power within us. So we have to harness that, that kind of the jyoti or the nur, whatever is there is already within us. And so I believe even the last parting word of Buddha were used to say, Apadipo Bhava. That is, that be a lamp to your life. Do not take light from the borrowed lamps. Be your own lamp. And there is an interesting book by Osho, Bhitar Ka Diya. So I will very strongly recommend that, out of your busy time, you must try to find some time to read this kind of literature also. Like when I wake up in the morning, I devote my first hour in listening and contemplating, doing meditation. I do not touch my phone. You know, ये जो फोन है, व्हाट्सएप है, all these things are trying to make you slave. अरे मैंने मैसेज भेजा था, क्या हुआ, वो ब्लू टिक आ गया था, why you not reply? मैं बड़े जेंटली बताता हूँ, भाई मैं इसका गुलाम नहीं हूँ. I look into WhatsApp only 4 times in a day. When I was leaving IHMR, I believe in something. जो काम करना है पूरे शिद्दत से. There is no tomorrow. लेकिन उसके बाद मेरी पर्सनल टाइम भी मेरा अपना है. I am not somebody who will say कि लाला जी बैठे हुए रात को देर तक, because he could not manage his time, तो मैं भी वहां बैठा रहूं शक्ल दिखाने के लिए. I am not that person. And unless you say I am free, I want to reclaim my freedom, nobody else is going to give you that freedom. Believe me, my dear friends. और एक मेरे मेंटर ने बड़ी अच्छी बात कही थी कि सर अभी पूरी बात बताएंगे रमना साहब, तो मैं छोटी मोटी बात ही जो मुझे समझ में आई मैं आपसे शेयर कर रहा हूँ. ये कभी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात मेरे डॉक्टर ने मुझे बताई, एंड आई एम जस्ट वांट टू शेयर विद यू. हिज नेम इज डॉक्टर पंकज गर्ग. ही लिव्स इन चंडीगढ़. आई एम सॉरी. उन्होंने कहा कि देखो पंकज, मेरा भी नाम पंकज है. बोले यार तुम बड़े सक्सेसफुल हो, ये हो, टॉप 5 एकेडमिक लीडर हो, बट यू सी हेल्थ इज नंबर. उनका हेल्थ नंबर 1 है. उसके बाद तुम मान लो फुल ब्राइट स्कॉलर हो, एक जीरो लग गया. मान लो तुमने कुछ करोड़ों कमा लिए, एक जीरो लग गया. मान लो तुम डीन हो बड़ी यूनिवर्सिटी में, जीरो लग गया. फलाने ढंग तो 1 लाख करोड़ जो भी लगा लो, लेकिन बोले अगर ये एक गिर गया ना तो बाकी सारे क्या हो गए, जीरो. एंड दैट वाज सो पावरफुल. नंबर 1 हेल्थ है. नंबर 1 तुम खुद हो. लोग कहते हैं साहब ये आप जो हो, शी इज माई लाइफ पार्टनर. अरे भाई लाइफ पार्टनर वो नहीं है, neither a lady or a man, because she will not go with you when you die. Only तुम्हारी अपनी ह्यूमन बॉडी है जो तुम्हारे साथ जाएगी. तो रियल लाइफ पार्टनर इज योर ओन बॉडी. So do not misuse that. उसको प्रेम करो, अपने आप को भर लो with the self love, self acceptance. जब मैं IHMR का प्रेसिडेंट था तो हम लोग सुबह जब शुरुआत करते थे, when we were starting our day, we used to start with laughter yoga. साथ में हंसते खेलते थे with all my people. यार यार तुम प्रेसिडेंट हो, तुम कैसे? हमने कहा नो, आई एम आल्सो ह्यूमन बीइंग. देन वी यूज्ड टू स्टार्ट विद मेडिटेशन. फिर शाम को when we were ending our day, we were doing the cleaning together. Cleaning का मतलब ये है कि हम साथ में बैठ गए. मान लो मैंने कुछ गुस्सा आया मेरे को, मैंने अमरेंद्र जी को कुछ कह दिया, अरे यार अमरेंद्र तुम डेडलाइन नहीं पूरा करते हो, ये वो. तो अमरेंद्र का जो कोमल हृदय है उसको मैंने तोड़ दिया by saying some harsh words. एंड मोर सो अगर दो चार लोगों के सामने बोल दिया तो मेरे को क्या करना है, आई हैव टू क्लीन इट अप. कि मैं उसको सॉरी बोलूंगा, यार हमने गलती हो गई, उसमें मैं थोड़ा ना टेंशन में. सो दैट इज हाउ आई बैलेंस माय कर्मा. एंड अमरेंद्र विल आल्सो गो टू होम हैप्पीली, अदरवाइज हो जाएगा, हो सकता है गुस्सा अपनी पत्नी पे निकाले, बच्चों पे निकाले. एंड आई डू नॉट नो वेदर आई एम अलाइव टुमारो और अमरेंद्र इज अलाइव टुमारो. लिविंग इन दैट मोमेंट. इस तरह की छोटी मोटी बहुत सारी इंसाइट हैं जिनको मतलब शेयर किया जा सकता है. लेकिन जो सबसे बड़ी बात ये है, जैसे होता है ना मैनेजमेंट हम लोग सिखाते हैं, तो मैनेजमेंट में MA, NA, GNT पूरा मैनेजमेंट हो गया. लेकिन अगर आपने T हटा दो लास्ट में तो क्या बचता? मैनेज मैन. फिर बाद में जो N निकला, N को भी हटा दो तो क्या बचता है? मैनेज मी. तो हर चीज घूम फिर के उसी पे आ जाती है कि हम अपने आप को मैनेज कैसे. Because all the external victory will only come from internal victory. नहीं तो हमारा जो मन है ना वो झूठ नहीं बोल सकता है. That cannot tell lie to me. Okay, क्या बड़ी बात कर रहे हो? Why you are leading your team? You are not able to manage yourself. You promised to yourself that I will get up at 5, I'll go to the gym, but you have not gone. You're a cheater. So even if I have not done something what I promised, I should also say sorry to myself and also to forget and forgive myself also. Sometimes we also carry those kind of deep regrets in us. अरे मैं ये करता तो ऐसा था, ये होता तो ऐसा, पता नहीं तुम यहाँ होती तो ऐसा होता. गाना एक था नहीं, सिलसिला मूवी. So it is very very important to live in now, live in mindfully here and now. It's very important thing. That is what I like to say. And Teach and School of Public Health in Harvard University has come out with a very interesting finding. They said that the people are living only 18% in the moment. And do you know, you must be wondering that where is the 82% time going? That 82% time is going in the regret of the past and the anxieties about the future. तो हम लोग गाड़ी आगे चला रहे हो, पीछे बैक मिरर देखते जा रहे हैं बार बार. अरे भाई ये उसने वो कहा था, उसने मेरे को हर्ट किया था. अरे भाई आज की डेट में व्हाट इज द रिलेवेंस ऑफ दैट? और ये चिंता कर रहे हैं भविष्य में क्या होगा, अरे कोरोना कब खत्म होगा. अरे भाई आज देखो क्या. माय स्टूडेंट टेल मी, अरे सर हम लोग ये ऑनलाइन पढ़ रहे हैं, कब आएंगे कैंपस? हम कह रहे हैं भाई जो आज की डेट में तुम बैठे हो ऑनलाइन पढ़ रहे हो, ये देखो तुम्हारा साल बच रहा है और तुम घर में बैठे अपना आराम से बिस्तर में लेटे हुए पढ़ रहे हो. ये आनंद दोबारा मिलेगा क्या? Whether you will be able to get this opportunity again? So opportunity is not in your hand, but the preparation is in your hand. So I'd like to say that be aware about the great possibility of life which has been given to us. Be a lamp to our own life. And number 3, do not live in any abhav and prabhav, but living in the swabhav and swadharma. Like, what is my mission? Suppose like I'm a good networker. I know it. I've got almost 4 million connection on the LinkedIn. And all my students whom I taught in 30 years, because I taught them with a lot of love and passion, they're still connected to me. And I feel that whatever you're doing in the moment with a lot of love and passion, that create your future. And if you love yourself, you need not to compare yourself with anyone, because you are a unique person. And finally, I would like to say that going in the right direction, and that too with a restful mind, is very important. And because we are sometimes going all around, running here and there, and all the time our mind is restless. काश ये ऐसा होता, ये होता तो ऐसा होता. because most of the great creations have happened only when your mind is quiet. उसके लिए एक और बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बात है कि that you should believe in some power, that there is somebody who will take care of you, and that power is already within you. But for that, I will request you, if you find time, please try to devote some time for meditation and inner journey. It is very, very important. And I'm sure it will open up a lot of great possibilities for you. And so I'm a professor, I can keep talking, but let me stop here. I do not know whether my time has been already over or not. So let me stop over here. And if there is anything, like if CMA friends want to have any session on, ancient wisdom or maybe on mindfulness, so that maybe some other time I can give a detailed talk. But at this moment, I want to once again thank and express my gratitude to Amrenji, Pankajji, and all of you. And I look forward to listening and learning from Ramanan Sir. Thank you and namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pankaj. Fantastic. I think, though it's a brief talk, but in that sense, you made it very, very clear. The biggest asset in the world is not the Maserati you drive, but it's you. That's what matters. And you should be a seeker. Don't seek around the world adding people and adding wealth, but seek inside. And that happiness is what matters for you. The power of your unconscious, subconscious. Everything what you want in the world is already available here. It is the most wonderful creature in the world, but you're ignoring yourself. You don't look at yourself in the mirror and hug yourself and love yourself. And if you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. Beautifully articulated. And I can see with all your meditation, everything else, you look very young. You look like an 18 or 20-year-old man. That shows that, the person who is practicing, telling what need to be done. So let's straight away take your inputs. Thank you so much. And I take the privilege at this time, Dr. Mendra, you can share a small token of appreciation, a certificate from our side, which will be displayed in the screen now. Thank you so much, Dr. Pankaj Gupta. It was so wonderful, and we'll be in touch with you for many more talks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Now, we are all waiting for, Dr. C.V. Ramanan. He is going to come and mesmerize us for the next 75 minutes or so. Over to you, sir. Eagerly looking forward like a school-going kid, the day one school kid. I'm waiting to hear and learn from you. Over to you. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much, Venkatji, for that very nice and powerful introduction. And you are a living credence to the fact that only a lit candle can light another. You are so passionate and enthusiastic that when you start speaking, the audience is already lit up. Pankajji, thank you very much for a very powerful presentation. I think you've set the tone to what I'm going to say, what we're going to speak, and it tells me that you're a very evolved person. And yes, we've been in touch, and I look forward to meeting and interacting with you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And my Dr. Amrendra Kumar, whom I've known for probably 25 years. We go back such a long way. It is because of his kind initiative and invitation that this is happening. Thank you, Amrendra. And sir, B5+, I didn't get your name.
My name is Chalapati Rao, sir. Chalapati Rao.
Tanapati Raoji. Hearty welcome to you too, and look forward to interacting with you. So very good morning once again to all of you, and welcome to all the participants here, all the dignitaries here, which includes Amrendra's and mine old student, Deepak, dear Deepak Singh. So as Pankajji was mentioning, it is really a pleasure and privilege for teachers like us to be in touch with our students. Some of my passed out students are 45, 50 themselves. So what I'll do is I'll just share the screen and I'll find out from you whether you're able to see it properly.
Yeah, we can see.
All right, but how do I get?
So
I'm not able to see the other things happening here. One
The
minute.
view.
Yeah, got it. Okay, you're able to
yes,
see
yes.
the screen now?
Yeah.
And you're able to hear me and see me, right? Thank you. So as you can see here on the screen, this is what I am. I've been introduced so well, so I don't need to talk much about that. Just a couple, apart from director of IMM Business School, I go regularly to Indian Institute of Public Administration, which is a Government of India institution for training very senior government officers like joint secretaries and excise customs, and of late for the last 3-4 years, judicial officers, judges from UP. So, and the other two interesting designations which you see is as a result of sharing TQP workshops, exploring the take homes, the benefits in our personal and professional life, as Pankajji was so beautifully mentioning. If this is clear, the body, mind, and soul chemistry and the energy, if you're able to, if this is clear, if you're able to realize that, manage that, understand this and manage this, and create synergy from these three, then we can give in our relationships, make them enriching, contribute at work for enhanced productivity. So this is the logic of all this. अगर हम भरपूर हैं तो रिश्ते भी सही होंगे और कर्म भी, लेकिन यहीं पे गड़बड़ है तो ना रिश्ते सही और ना काम सही. So that is what these designations illustrate. In a corporate company called Prudentia Group in Noida, I was the chief mentor and happiness officer.
We can't hear you, doctor.
Yeah. Dr. Ramna? I think some network issue.
So as we wait for Dr. Ramanan, why not, the audience here can start typing in the messages. What do you expect from this? You heard that for the introduction. Oh, he's back here. Doctor, you're muted. You're muted, doctor.
Yeah, able to hear me now?
Yes.
But not see the screen, right?
Yeah, you can see her now.
Yeah, okay. Yes. So you're able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, so these kinds of talks, recently it happened in Indian Society for Training and Development. Also at India International Center. So this was where it all began nearly 30 years ago. And it was fun talking for them and for their panel again recently. And this was in the Institute. And this was at the Skill Development Center at the Delhi University. This was some interview over a coffee with Himanshu, which happened about my life and times. And this is interesting because across management institutions across the country, I'm kind of sharing this because this has to be the basis for anything else in life. So AIMS, Association of Indian Management Schools, they awarded a gold medal for this kind of an innovative management practice. And this is a little bit about the workshop itself. It's a spiritual, value-based, and powerful philosophy that I've been sharing with people from all walks of life. And Venkatji has said the rest, so I don't want to talk about it. This global event in Dubai, IFTDU 2018, the theme was creating happiness in the workplace. So my presentation was TQP for happiness and success, and the global audience really appreciated it. So let's begin the workshop. Now, before I begin that, once again, I want to check you're able to hear me, see me, and see the screen. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. So I begin by talking to you about some of the contemporary challenges. Contemporary, of course, meaning current or present or the live, today's challenges. Apart from the raging global pandemic, the COVID-19, We've always had challenges like globalization, competition, very smart people around us who seem to know everything we know about ourselves, if not more. And that's happening because of information explosion. So much of information literally exploding on our heads. What do we take? What do we leave? Uh, Work-life balance. Are we leading a tilted, skewed life, or are we leading a balanced life? Because unless we are balanced, we cannot be happy. And unless we are happy, we cannot be productive at work. What about stress? Pressure versus stress. Pressure natural है. क्या stress भी natural है? क्या tension natural है? तो अगर नहीं है, तो what is the difference between pressure and stress? And how do we deal with it? Diversity. We're all from different parts of the country, different castes, different creed, different languages, different culture, different parts of the world for such a global audience as we have today. So diversity, according to me, is not a cause of despair. It's a reason to celebrate. Learning from different cultures and different languages and different religions, and putting it in a melting pot. And out from that pot will emerge the winning composite culture of that particular group. Happiness, or more precisely, the lack of it. Just like our systems are programmed for software, we are programmed to be happy. It's our birthright, it's our privilege to be happy. But are we? We seem to be groping, looking, hunting for this elusive quality called happiness all the time and hardly ever able to find it. So delivering quality products and services, having quality interactions and relationships, and being quality people is not only the best way, it is perhaps the only way to not only to survive, but to delight our customers, our people, our relationship. So the foundation, the fulcrum has to be TQP, total quality person. That is people with character, the right values, positive attitude, and a desire to serve, seva. Seva, S-E-W-A, can be expanded interestingly as serve with empathy, warmth, and appreciation. Venkataji was also mentioning about the foundation, TQM. We've all heard of that. This is TQP. The premise, everything begins with the self. So who am I? Why am I here? What is the purpose of life? What is work-life balance? What is holistic happiness and success? So some of the questions we'll be asking and attempting to answer in this brief session would be, is it possible for us to do more of the right things faster and easier? That is, can we be more effective and efficient? And the second question, can we get a better handle, a better grip on our lives to make choices that make our lives a more rewarding experience? The suggestions given today will be very simple, but hopefully very powerful and effective. I'm sure some of us have seen the great Rishikesh Mukherjee classic called Bawarchi, which was released way back in the early 70s. It had the great hero of my time, Rajesh Khanna Sahab, playing a professor turned cook, Bawarchi. He comes up with some gems, not only in Hindi, but also in English in that movie. And one of the things he says, it is so simple to be happy, but so difficult to be simple. So today we'll keep it very simple and direct, heart to heart, soul to soul communication. And talking of gems, this entire spiritual journey of total quality person began about 25 years ago when I wrote these 6 little books. I'll just share these titles with you. Sounds of Inspiration, Calls of Enrichment, Traits for Success, Treasures of Wisdom, Eternal Truths, and Milestones of Excellence. Each of these books contains 101 small, simple thoughts that we can apply in our lives. So that's how this whole thing began. Each one of us can create, build, and sustain a quality environment, not only at work, but equally importantly at home. I want to ask a question here. You can think about it, and maybe someday we can progress this. Why are we so rude and crude to people we love, and at our politest best with people we hardly know? So we all create a great environment at work, but are we able to do that at home? And shouldn't we do that as well? So the training programs, workshops are normally 2 days, 3 days, at the very least 1 day. They are interactive. We play games. We have assignments and cases. It's a very structured process, but a lot of scope for creativity and interaction. So I leave that with all of you by God's grace for some other day. Today, as Venkatji was mentioning, it's going to be a small capsule in the time we have. A few of the things we discuss here may involve inside-out changes, a major shaker from the roots, a paradigm shift. We may be used to a certain way of life. Today, we might feel the need to examine whether there is a different way to live life. But I'm just trying to be a catalyst by sharing a philosophy. I don't have a fixed formula 44 solution or a quick fix which I'll distribute. Neither do you require it. You're all very smart, accomplished, successful professionals, and the power of goodness, the power of change is in each one of us. So whatever we share today, put it through your filter. Whatever you find it appealing, take it. Whatever is not, we can leave it. So it is, as I said, a very powerful value-based philosophy, TQP, and a wonderful pilgrimage of continuous learning and improvement, leading to holistic happiness and success. It's a spiritual odyssey, meaning journey, based on our scriptures, Indian ethos, and ancient wisdom. So fasten your seatbelts, as they say, and let us embark on this very beautiful journey in the next hour and 15 minutes or so. So these are the 4 human needs: to live, to love, to learn, and to leave a legacy. When we talk about the learning need, it is a mental requirement. If I say that life has to be a journey of continuous learning and improvement, I'm sure all of you will agree. The more we know, the more we realize we don't know. So let us all consider ourselves as students. Let others talk about us as experts. We are students in different points of that journey who want to know more rather than to show more. So the top value for this journey of continuous learning and improvement is humility, vinamrata. Nobody is too old to learn and too young to learn from. We can learn from anybody and everybody, anything and everything, provided we are humble. 2 things will work only when they are open. One is the parachute and the other is the mind. Neither of them will work when it is closed. Each one of us, the spiritual need, each one of us given a choice would like to leave something behind for the next generation. Some of the questions we should be asking ourselves: are we a crowd of people or are we a nation of citizens? Are we going to be like the crores who came here to this world, didn't do anything and leave? Or are we going to be like the select few who came here, touched people and made a difference? We are all breathing, yet how many of us are even aware of our breath? So this should be about being alive, awake and arise, as Swami Vivekananda said. So do we have a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose? Are we here to make a difference? Rajesh Khanna Sahab, in another cult classic of his, Anand, he said, Zindagi lambi nahi, badi honi chahiye. The quality of life is not about how long, it's about how. We have similarly the different dimensions of our personality. Physical. Pankajji was talking about the importance of taking care of our body, exercise, acharan, discipline, our dress sense. I see that we are all dressed very appropriately for the occasion. Those kinds of things. One of the few things where life will not give us a second opportunity is to make a good first impression. And the physical aspect of our personality helps us in creating that first impression. God has given us the face, but surely we can provide the expression. Mental. And one more thing on the physical aspect is, if we truly believe that we are that energy, that Atma, that soul, that divine essence, that Chaitanya Shakti, Bhagwan, God, Khuda, whatever is it that we want to call it, Atman, Brahman, then a healthy body is a comfortable guest chamber for the soul. A sick body is a prison. Mental. We just discussed that humility, vinamrata, is a top quality for us to be on the journey of continuous learning and improvement. So with humility, we read, we observe, we participate in such sessions, we all learn from each other. Experience is a great teacher. The meter called experience is ticking all the time. Are the antennas out for learning? Mistakes, गलतियों से सीखना.
Doctor, it's
Yeah, looks like.
I think we've lost connection again.
Just seems to be.
Yeah.
Whether you can ping him maybe on the other side.
Yeah, we can call.
So for the audience, so we started talking about physical because, the body is what housing your mind, right? Like Vivekananda said, if you don't have a healthy body, there's no healthy mind. So he articulated that very, very important thing in terms of how we carry. That's why the posture is important. We all talked about whether it's a Kundalini yoga or, central nervous system, CNS, the backbone is important. You sit straight, and if you want to be happy, you say like this, wow. When you're sad, you automatically go down like this. That's a physical body. I'm just filling up when Tilly comes in. So that's why the physical appearance is important. Head straight, I look into eyes, and it all matters. Firm handshake, and that's where the connection of heart to heart happens. All that matters. That's why the physical is very, very important. And that happen, the energy of you and who you are, and you're proud of it. It comes from how you carry yourself. Like I said earlier, if you're not really loving yourself, you can't loving anybody else. So that is important. And then how do you take care of it? So that means you need to have a routine. That's why people talk about Brahma Muhurta. You get up in the morning, 4 in the morning, and try to do whatever you want to do, like our Dr. Pankaj was mentioning. 1 hour in the morning, I just only look at satsang. I only hear the satsang in my ears. That matters. And what we do, we go to bed with the phone and get up in the bed, with that. So that's very, very important how you maintain your physique. People say we don't have time to exercise. But I don't agree. I also said that in the past, but you can bring it as part of a system and process. One of the simple things which I do nowadays, and I could succeed very clearly, is called the one I call as date with nature. Because as you know that half of your lung is standing outside in the trees. They breathe out, you breathe in. So I said, if I'm going to be with the nature, then I'm really revitalizing myself. And second thing I did is called no agenda walk and talk. Just meet one of the person and go in the morning, go to the beach or go to a park. I covered more than 85 parks in Singapore. Go with them for a walk. When you go for a walk, what happens is no agenda walk and talk means in all of the things is tactical. You want a business, you want a money, you want a something else to talk. But here, when you go with open mind, you are able to really absorb from a childhood to now the hobby, spirituality, everything you talk. And mind you, in the last 1 year, I have 285 such deeper connections. That though I went with no agenda, but that has culminated into a deeper business and other relations, right? So that's a system. And to be very, very frank, it's actually a system I put in place because I cannot get up in the morning. I can't give an excuse say that I want to sleep. Oh, it's quickly, very rainy outside because I commit to somebody else. The moment I commit to somebody else, I am out at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. I'm in that place to meet him. That's a system. What is the benefit? 5-6 kilos I lost and I enjoy it. And now I can't miss it. It become part of my habit. So that's what he's talking about, the physical aspect of the body, which is very, very important because you take care of your physique, then many other things will go away. When you're happy, the state of happiness, you think about when you're really sick and tired, feverish, then you can't be happy because even if you want to be happy, you will feel constrained by the body related issues. That's why the physical part of it. Has he come in? Not yet. Okay, so now let's move on into the mental aspect of what we're discussing, which he is touched upon. I'm just touching on that area. Mind is we talked about we manage wealth. People say I manage my stress. We manage something precious, right? We don't manage something which is things like stress. Why should you manage stress? But the mind is moving all around. People say that, I want to control my mind and bring in. Do you control your breath? You control your heart? You control your liver? It's all functioning. Then why do you want to control your mind? You don't need to control your mind, but you need to channelize your mind. That can only happen when you're in the satsang of people. For you to surrounded by, that's why people say a good thing to hear and, be with good people and talk about creativity, talk about positivity. In the morning when you get up, just the moment you look at it outside, what do you look at it? You're alive. Is it not wonderful? As you go to bed and when you get up in the morning, there are 300,000 people have died in the world. They're not there. If 300,000 people have died, there are 3 million people who are relatives are mourning about the death. You are alive. Is it not a big thing? First, be grateful for that simple thing. We always look at the glass empty and say, what is outside? This is missing, that is missing, my life is nowhere. But just be happy that you're alive. In COVID, realize many of our kids and friends disappear just overnight. They may be rich, famous, but that's it, right? Then, second thing, when you look around, your relatives and your friends and your family is around, you're happy. You have a roof over your head. You have 3 meals to eat. Is it not grateful? In life, if we start creating a grateful, diary, automatically the mind will be so filled with what you have, and you feel happy about it. The moment we are not happy, the mind is getting culminated because we always, again, Dr. Pankaj Gupta mentioned about comparison. If at all, when I mentor people, if somebody comes and says that I want to compare, yes, go and compare with the Facebook founder and $40-50 billion. If the money is the criteria, and jump into the well that I've not become a Facebook founder. Don't try to compare somebody just who got $1,000 better promotion and the neighbor is better. That is not the life you need to lead. Aim for if you're a climber of a hill, aim to climb the Himalayas. Whether you succeed or not is a different issue, but at least you have a right ambition to do that. So the best way to compare is yourself. Are you better than yesterday? If you are a millimeter better than yesterday by attending this kind of talks and events, that is what is creating us to be fantastic, to say that I am better than yesterday. And the moment I am competing with myself, it is not even a word of competition. Earlier I used the word called seeking. It's an evolution. I'm evolving. As a seed, as a baby, I'm born like a small baby. Today I have a 5 feet or 6 feet high. Physical body is there, but about my evolution. There are karmic influences, there are limiting beliefs which is dictating my life. How do I learn myself? Here I'm not talking about academic learning. You learn by observation. You learn from your child, you learn from your tea lady, you're a helper, anybody in the walking or in the nature. When I walk in the morning in the forest, I just look around and see the trees are not comparing themselves. The trees are around and they're all growing and they're all giving, shade and everything else. It is not waiting for you to stand up and say, thank you, you're giving oxygen to me. Do we say that? We don't say. Do they expect? No. But they're happy, they're thriving. That's life. In the life, everybody is meant to thrive. It is when you compare with an animal and a human body. Yeah, what happened, Navendra?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Dr. Ramnan, he joined.
Oh, sorry. Good.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Please, I was just filling up during your, when you're not there. Continue.
That's great, sir. You played a speaker role, during moderating this program. Thank
That's
you.
the role of a moderator. Moderator has to do many roles.
Yeah.
Great. Yes, sir. Over to you, sir. Ready. His audio is still not connected. Muted, sir.
Yes.
I'm sorry for that. Probably there was something wrong here. I'll again share the screen. Sorry for that, please. And thanks for bearing with me.
No worries, sir.
It says host disabled participant screen sharing, Amarendra. Can you do something about it?
Okay. Yeah, I can. You can share now. Yeah.
Okay. Just a second.
Clear.
Are you able to see it now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very well.
Okay. So sorry for that once again. And once again, are you able to see me, hear me, and see the screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were talking about the emotional aspect of our personality. That's the I was telling you about a Hindi Sanskrit word called Vivek. Vivek is wisdom. The institute I was heading, the value-based management institution, where Amarendra ji was a valuable colleague. Our punchline was Vivek management, managing through wisdom. So if we truly believe that life is about Vivek management, where can be there any Vivek? Where can there be any Vivek without compassion and caring for people? जो शक्ति करुणा में है वो क्रोध में कहाँ? Anger, gussa, krodh is a sign of weakness. Compassion, vivek, karuna is a sign of strength. So it's always good to have compassion because we never know when we are going to need it ourselves. And the final aspect of our personality is frankly the only aspect. We are not human beings on a spiritual journey. We are spiritual beings on a human journey. So things like what Pankaj ji was telling us about, realizing who we are, bringing those beautiful qualities like love, peace, tolerance, patience, empathy, forgiveness in our day-to-day interactions. और जब व्यवहार में लाते हैं तो खुद भी महसूस करते हैं. When we express, we experience. मैंने जिंदगी को कुछ इस तरह आसान बना लिया, किसी से माफी मांग ली तो किसी को माफ कर दिया. Forgiveness is a gift for ourselves. When we forgive others, we are truly free. This is a small model to illustrate the effect of mind purity. Pure mind, noble thought, selfless action, good result. Invariably, Sukh, Shanti, Anand we experience. Impure mind, I cannot take any guarantees. Maybe there is some temporary hulchal or excitement somewhere, but invariably, very doubtful result and sorrow. And so many scams getting exposed across all areas of life. Living testimony to the fact that Kal, Vakt, time will catch up with us. So why do it at all? The advent of information technology has made it very clear, very easy for the cops to bust crimes. With a click of a button, the whole cosmos is available to our customer or to our relationships. So we had better be quality people, because frankly, there is no other way. It is not only the right way, it's a smart way to live life. It is not what we get, but what we are able to give that determines the quality, the caliber, the measure of our life. We may make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. This is a small model which I figured out, which is equally applicable in the corporate world, in our organizations, as it is applicable in our lives. I am requesting all of us to kindly invest 3 qualities in our relationships and in our people, in our colleagues: trust, empathy, and respect. That will result in motivated colleagues who are happy and balanced, and therefore inspired and productive. See, one question I have here is, एक खाली इंसान, एक खोखला इंसान क्या दे सकता है? ना रिश्तों में, ना कर्म में. लेकिन अगर हम भरपूर हैं, किस चीज से भरपूर? खुशी, शांति, संतुलन, balance. Then we can contribute in our relationships, make them enriching, and we can give in our work for enhanced productivity. So, motivated colleagues, they'll be motivated because of leaders like you, who are investing trust, empathy, and respect in them, so that they are happy and balanced, and therefore inspired and productive. That will give rise to commitment to the organization and organizational or department or the institutional happiness and success. In the context of a personal life, if you invest these 3 qualities in people, in your relationships, you'll get Sada Bahar, win-win, magical, permanent, great, wonderful relationships. This is where I believe we store various qualities, various aspects. And as you can see here, we the soul, we the energy, we the divine essence, the spark, we the Chaitanya Shakti, we carry our values. Just like the residences, the buildings, the homes where we are now listening to this workshop, that cannot be strong unless the foundation is strong. We the soul, we the energy cannot be strong unless the foundation of our values are strong. अगर वैल्यूज सही या क्लियर नहीं है तो हर कदम में लड़खड़ाते रहेंगे, ये कहूं कि वो कहूं, ये करूं कि वो करूं. Decision making will be hazy and confused because inside is confused. If 3, 4, 5, not more than that, 3, 4, 5 values which we ourselves will choose, nobody will force us. If we are able to select those values, internalize them, zehen mein dalne se, and if our bol and karam are consistent with those values, if our words and action are consistent with our values, just imagine the kind of power and peace and happiness that we are going to experience. Just imagine the quality of our relationships and the richness of this world. And many of you are aware of the gunas in the Indian context, sattva, rajas, and tamas. I am talking about the sattva guna, sattvic, which is all about balance and tranquility and stability and taking the team with us. I believe that these 3 entities are going to be instrumental. They inspire, they influence our journey of life. Call that journey a spiritual odyssey, journey of life, journey of realization, journey towards greatness, pilgrimage, whatever is it that you want to call it. the person himself or herself, that is we ourselves, the family, more precisely the parents, and the teacher, the guru. Because of ourselves, our parents and teachers, we start yearning for quality from within. Ek chahat, ek tadap, ek desire from within. There is a place for everything. Everything has a place. We are neat, clean, organized, and systematic, both from inside and from outside. And we don't need to spend extra time, additional time for this. Balki waqt bachate hain being systematic and organized, because wo zehen mein aa chuka hai. It has become our nature. It's become our second nature. We have become that. Effortlessly follow and improve upon the overall quality process. I have been looking at all of us since an hour plus. Many of us are smiling. Some of us are like this, as if galati se bhi hasne se the whole world will collapse. See, if you are all able to smile, it is as if the world, this entire place is lit up by 1,000-watt bulb. So why deny ourselves and the world the beauty of a smile? It just simply makes the world a better place. Everybody likes happy and friendly people, both at the workplace and at home. And if you hide the first alphabet S, smile and you travel miles. The importance of body language. Studies illustrate that a staggering 50% impact on the overall communication effect is courtesy of body language. Our gestures, our postures, the way we sit, walk, stand, our eye contact. Aadha impact communication ka is courtesy of body language. So if the body language supports our spoken word, we are obviously perceived as great, powerful, wonderful communicators. If it is not, then we'll end up being perceived as weak, feeble, shallow, and hollow communicators. So obviously, saying what we mean, meaning what we say, speaking the truth, those will help to ensure that 50% impact body language is supporting our spoken word. Spoken word itself, while important, just has a mere 10% impact. The other 40% is the tone, how we speak. More about it a little later. Develop the right attitude. If you cannot change the circumstances, let us change our attitude towards it. We were not able to do anything about COVID, but we developed all this. The online, the Zoom. We were not able to do much about what happened just now about the internet issue, but we all kept our attitude right. We were relaxed. Venkatji was holding the fort, and we are back again. So this is the only thing in our control. KISS, keep it straight and simple. Life ko zyada complicate karne ki zarurat nahi hai. Personal image matters. When the great Sachin Tendulkar was playing, somebody came to me and said, "Oh, Sachin, the best ever, yet he's so humble." I said, a small correction. Sachin is humble, that is why he is great. वो best ever होके humble नहीं बने, वो humble हैं इसलिए महान बने. Back to KG. We all learned things like how to say please, thank you, sorry, wherever necessary, how to care, be fair, and share in life. Good old, little, evergreen, eternal values which are rapidly getting forgotten. So it's time we revisit these values by revisiting KG. Well, you're all great leaders. The difference between a good leader and a great leader, I believe, is a good leaders may have plenty of followers who may do chamchagiri or whatever. But a great leader, they are not bothered about how many people are following them, doing yes sir, no ma'am, and so on. They are more concerned about creating the next level of leadership so that someday when they are not there, nothing suffers anymore. The succession planning aspect in HR. Ability to inspire and ignite. They have lofty ideals and values that make sure that the entire team is with them. They live and walk their talk. They practice what they preach. They set personal examples. Abdul Kalam Sahab, for instance. Effective communication. We're going to come back to this. The most important, according to me, corporate skill and life skill for building relationships and for rising in the corporate hierarchy. Time management. Everybody has 24 hours in a day. When people can do so much, why can't we do this much? Nobody has 48. Each one of us has 24. Growth, development and welfare of people. Emotional intelligence. आज दिन तक हमने दवाओं का असर देखा है, अभी दुआओं का असर देखना बाकी है. The effect of blessings in our life. So that happens with things like empathy and emotional intelligence, being sensitive about people, their feelings, their emotions, caring about people. Already available in our scriptures. Everything is available in our scriptures. Globalization, Vasudeva Kutumpakam. Emotional intelligence, Sthita Pragya, Sthit, stable, Pragya, mind or consciousness. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna in the second chapter of the Gita, Sthita Pragyastha Dochate, be a person of stable mind, even if the situation is challenging. That is your best bet of handling the situation. Yukt or Yukta is a person who is committed to her or his purpose of life, goals of life. Leadership is combination of character, effectiveness, and strategy, efficiency. Level 5 and 6 leaders, which I believe all of you are, truly evolved leaders, very high in the leadership hierarchy. Level 5 leaders combine humility and will. They are very humble, but they are very courageous. They are polite, but they are fearless. जब उन्होंने छुपाने लायक कुछ कहा नहीं है या कुछ किया नहीं है, तो किस बात से डर? वो बड़े निडर होते हैं. They meet you in the eyes and talk to you because they haven't done anything worth hiding. Why should they be scared? They are rare and they are unstoppable. So studies have shown that leadership of this quality, level 5 leadership, is the top reason for an organization to be catapulted, means jump from mediocrity to sustained levels of excellence. Not computer systems, not decor, not the fancy walls, but you, and you. You are responsible for the organization to jump from merely good to truly great leadership. And level 6 leaders combine all of level 5. Additionally, what they have is a quality called seva bhav. In the Indian context, they are called servant leaders. ऐसे हो जाते हैं वो, आप काम कर लो आराम से. If you have anything, check with me. Otherwise, they don't breathe down your neck. वो हो गया, ये हो गया, वो क्यों किया नहीं है. Servant leaders. SAL is situational adaptable leadership. As per the situation, we can fine-tune our style. 2 more concepts from the Indian ethos. I asked you a question. Are we a crowd of people or are we a nation of citizens? Sresht or Sreshtas are enlightened citizens practicing Vivek management or managing through wisdom. First, we have information. Then we have Gyan, knowledge. The right application of knowledge comes with Vivek, Buddhi, wisdom. And Raja Rishi, the age-old concept as propagated billions of years ago by our sages. I would like all the great leaders to be Raja Rishis, combining the energy and passion of a king, Raja, along with the wisdom and maturity of a sage, Rishi, Raja Rishi. All resulting in total quality leadership, TQL, inspirational leadership, जिसके वजह से सपने साकार होते हैं लोगों के, जिसके वजह से जो तत्व है, जो एसेंस है, जो ट्रेजर आइलैंड है, फोर्स है, पावर है, ये छोटे से शरीर में अनजान बन के घूम रहे हैं. इस फोर्स के बारे में पता नहीं है लोगों को. सो जिसके बारे में पता नहीं है उसको बाहर कैसे लाएं? So great leaders will make you realize that this is what you are. We are leading ordinary lives. 5 बजे उठो, दांत साफ करो, the whole day routine. Next day, दांत साफ, whole day routine. ऐसे जिंदगी बीत जाती है. Because 98% is still inside. We haven't realized the power of who we are. So great leaders will make us realize that, as I'm sure you are making your people realize. Great leaders blend character, effectiveness, strategy, efficiency, ethics, and competence, love and skill. And that is not a sign of great leadership. Sir, मैं 20 ग्रुप का WhatsApp ग्रुप का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हूँ सर, क्या मैं ग्रेट लीडर हूँ? जी नहीं, not necessarily. आज दिन तक हमने बहुत लोगों को कहते हुए सुना है, या खुद भी शायद कहा है हमने, वाह कितने अच्छे अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं, क्या कम्युनिकेटर है. कितने अच्छे हिंदी उर्दू बोलते हैं, क्या कम्युनिकेटर है. गलत. कितने अच्छे अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं, क्या स्पीकर है. कम्युनिकेटर है या नहीं remains to be seen. As I said, a mere 7 to 10% impact is courtesy the language. Aaj din tak itna time, energy, effort, and money we have been investing on language skills together has 10%. Our language, our words, our vocabulary, accent, diction, 10% impact. 40% impact is how we speak. Are we speaking with dignity and respect and love, affection, charm, grace, elegance, and class? Or are we rude and crude, angry, shouting, screaming, insulting, humiliating? We may be saying perfectly valid things, but if we are rude and crude and insulting about it, nobody is listening to us. They may be scared of us because of our hierarchy, of our position, but they're not listening to understand the deep communication of a human soul. To fayda kya hua us communication? And a whopping 50% impact, as I said, body language, non-verbal. Now, a lot of these things are researched by me, primary research and survey. I have done researches on performance appraisal, potential appraisal, performance counseling, as also excellence and happiness and success and emotional intelligence. I have several articles and editorials on journals. If the group so wants, I can send these to you in a email or whatever is it that you suggest, or we can save it for another day when we have a more detailed workshop. One of the things I researched was, apart from these three, there are other qualitative factors which impact communication. Let us study them also. So a beautiful blend of language, tone, how we speak, body language. The fourth, social graces, etiquette, and manners. That also influences our credibility and inspires people to listen to us. Character. In one of these books I have written, what you are thunders in my ears, that I'm not able to hear what you say. Your character, your vibrations, your values, they are the most powerful, most eloquent communicators. And finally, listening and EBAs, emotional bank accounts. When we listen to each other, you're all financial experts, you know everything about banks. Banks mein savings account hai. Ye dilon ka rishta hai. Emotional bank account is a relationship in the heart, is an account in the heart. When I listen to Pankaj, when I listen to Venkatji and Amrendraji here, to understand what they are saying, I have hopefully created an account in their hearts. When I do that more and more, I put more and more deposits in that account. Just like our salary slips are credited in the bank, this gets credited in people's hearts. And similarly, since the beginning of the workshop, you've been giving me so much of respect and affection. You've already opened that account. We can reinforce this account by listening more and more. And the beauty of this is, we have a lakh of rupees in the savings account. We withdraw 50,000 for expenses. We can withdraw from the emotional bank account as well. Tomorrow, if I'm going to be down and out, I don't need to ask. You will come to me for help, because someday I was there for you. I listened to you. I cared about you. Today I'm down. I don't need to ask. You will come to me for help. So 4 support systems, or 4 permanent members in our support system: relatives, friends, neighbors, and colleagues. इनके साथ emotional bank account बनाइए just by listening to understand what they are saying. You have a lifetime of relationships with you. They will do anything for you. Relatives, friends, neighbors, and colleagues. Now, LISTEN, listen, if you write on a piece of paper, LISTEN, उन्हीं 6 अक्षरों के साथ एक और word बनता है. What is that word? If you write LISTEN, listen, with the same alphabets put here and there, we can have another word. What is that word? Anyone? LISTAN, if we change the positions of these alphabets, we get silent. Absolutely. Silent has the same, uses the same alphabets arranged differently. So for us to listen, we have to be silent. Not only this silence, but the mind has to be silent. A stunning reveal of a study, each one of us are creating, successfully churning out, manufacturing 60,000 thoughts every day, 60,000. So we are talking about traffic jams in Delhi and Bangalore and other cities. What about the mess here, the traffic jam here? उसके लिए किसको blame करना है? उसने blue color के कपड़े क्यों पहने? इसके जूते गंदे हैं, उसके घर में खाना ठीक नहीं बनता. These are the wasteful, critical thoughts we are generating every day, 60,000. तो कहाँ की खुशी, कहाँ की शांति? यहाँ तो chaos है. So, and if we want to really truly listen to understand, this has to be silent. आपने देखा होगा, you must have all given several presentations. There are many people in the audience, they mean well, लेकिन ऐसे ऐसे करते हैं. They are appreciating you, but the mind is flying somewhere, exotic, New Zealand, America, Australia, that is where the mind is flying. And then we are doing this. So we need to keep this still. We need to be aware of every thought. That is when we are truly able to experience peace and happiness. The first commandment of a total quality person, I believe, is integrity. Our workstation should be neat and clean, and the universe should not be rich enough to buy our votes of integrity. Mathe pe likha hona chahiye, not for sale. And that sign should be clearly visible to all of us. Excellence. According to me, excellence is not being the best. Excellence is not being perfect, because these things are not in our hands. You know, if I'm always thinking about how do I become more famous than Pankaj-ji, how do I get more money than Venkat-ji, how do I have more rutba than Amrinder-ji, I'll be nowhere, because none of these things is in my hand. Excellence, according to me, dear friends, is about giving my best at every point of time, whether this interaction, whether in relationships, whether at work, whether in TQP workshops, whether in the classes, whether in seminars, whether anywhere. Can we give our best? That is the only thing which is truly in our hands. And we have been discussing since beginning of the workshop about the importance of continuous learning and improvement. So my best today will not be and should not be my best tomorrow. I would have redefined my levels of best, redefined my levels of excellence. So at every point of time, can we give our best? That is true excellence. And in the scriptures, it is referred to as nishkama karma. Karmanyev adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. The beautiful paradox is, when I stop thinking much about those results and focus on giving my best, I'm able to achieve those very results. Why? Logical. See, I'm saying don't follow the scriptures because they are the scriptures. Follow them because they are logical and practical. None of them advocate running away somewhere for peace. They all say, whether it's the Gita or any other scripture, that be here, be a person of action, duties, responsibilities, play your roles, but do it by doing things right with a soul orientation. Now look at this. When we are focusing on giving our best without thinking about who is the best, will I be rated as the best, will I get more money? None of this in my hands, just giving my best. The mind is crystal clear and razor sharp. I am at peace because I'm doing something which is totally in my control. Focused. These are the very qualities required to get those results. So why won't I get those results? That is the magic of nishkama karma and excellence. Running the extra mile, I can. Too many people there to say I can't, giving excuses the drop of a hat. Can we believe in saying I can? Can we give more than what is expected from us, not only at work, but in relationships too? Can we give them more than what they're expecting from us? Win-win is not your way or my way. It is just a better way, a higher way. आज दिन तक शायद हमने सोचा कि मुझे जीतने के लिए दुनिया भर को हारना पड़ेगा. Is it really necessary? Can I win? Can Pankaj-ji win too? Can Amrinder win? Can Venkat-ji win too? Can everybody win? Why not? Let us try at least. Both dependence and independence are out. What should be in is interdependence. I depend on you, you depend on me, and together, if we have so many brains here, why should we be dependent on one brain? And that will give rise to exciting synergy. If I have an apple and Amrinder-ji has an apple, and if we exchange apples, Amrinder still has one apple, I still have one apple. But if I have an idea and he has an idea, and if we discuss the ideas, we have two ideas each. So that is synergy, where 2 plus 2 is not 4 or 5 or 500. 2 plus 2 can be anything we want to be. Proactive. Emotional bankathon for building relationships. We just discussed that. See, all our organizations we are working for, institutions, they all have mission statements. How about a personal mission statement, a PMS? One mission statement could be, I'm going to lead a life of integrity and I'm going to make a difference in the lives of others. Now, that need not be yours, but I'm requesting all of you to very kindly consider having a mission statement which is comfortable to you, writing it down and leading your lives accordingly. There'll be a huge amount of peace and happiness and power you'll be able to experience, which you can give in your relationships and give at work. So the final part of our workshop is happiness and success, total quality life. Now, this is a chart of about 30 odd values, which I've put for your reference. I'm sure all of us have quite a few of these values. It is just a ready reckoner for us. In the next few minutes, I will try and share a few very powerful stories based on some of these values. The fifth on the right in the second column, faith. President Kennedy was having a discussion several decades ago with the top scientist of his time, Dr. Werner von Braun. And the topic of the discussion was, the president was asking the scientist a question. What will it take us to reach the moon for the first time? Those days, it was still a pipe dream. So the president was expecting that the scientist will answer the question by this way: this much of money, this much of financial resource, that much of human resource, this much of technology will be required to reach the moon for the first time. So the question by the president, what will it take us to reach the moon for the first time? And the answer by the brilliant Dr. Werner von Braun, so simple, so powerful, and so true. All that it will take us to reach the moon for the first time is the will to do it, is the faith. It was Mahatma Gandhi. Rest of it are all important, but they'll come and fall in place as satellite values, whether human power or financial resources or technology, if we have the will that we can do it, the faith. It was Mahatma Gandhi who said, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall acquire the capacity to do it. Walt Disney, everybody knows him. First, he made Disneyland, and then he created Disney World. Disney World se inauguration se kuch hafte pehle, unfortunately, sadly, Walt Disney died. He passed away. So this was the inaugural. This was Roy Disney representing his late brother Walt Disney. These were the newspaper people who had come to cover the event. And there, gleaming, shining, glowing at a distance, was the magic kingdom of the Disney world. So suddenly one newspaper person got up, pointed to the kingdom, and told Roy Disney, so sad that Walt Disney was not able to see this. How sad that Walt Disney had to die before he could see Disney World. And Roy Disney replied, he had already seen it, and that is why it is there. Unhone to bahut pehle dekh liya. Kahan? Yahan. He visualized it and then went about making it happen with faith and hard work. Edmund Hillary, Sir Edmund Hillary. He was the first one to touch the peak of Mount Everest. Any idea after how many unsuccessful attempts? 5, 6, 8, how many? 17, 17. On one of these attempts, you know what he did? He shook his fist and shouted at the peak. He said, today you have defeated me, but I'll come back and conquer you. Why? You cannot get any bigger, but I can. And he did. So the world is full of such stories where people have defied odds because of faith and went about making things happen. This instrument, which Pankaj was telling about, WhatsApp he uses only 4 times. Credit to him. Many of us have become slaves of this. Or ye kaise hua? If that person had thought of impossible, we wouldn't be merely using it 24 hours a day. So these people have converted impossible to I am possible. With faith, anything is possible. Then we have generosity, the power to give. Those of you who are from Delhi NCR, or those who are familiar, there is a place in Delhi NCR called Malai Mandir. Malai in Tamil means mountain. So this is temple atop a mountain. So wo Malai karke Hindi ka Rasmalai ban chuka hai. But whatever it is, Malai Mandir, if you come from that outer ring road, you come to Munirka and then you come to IIT crossing, flyover. तो फ्लाईओवर के नीचे कुछ भिखारी बच्चे हैं I don't know what they see in my eyes and what they see in other people's eyes. Whenever I go there and park for the signal, they come running to me, uncle, uncle. And whatever I have, I give it to them. My children, Gaurav and Disha, are also very compassionate. Disha has about 2 roosters she had and 35 dogs she's taking care of in the streets in the park. Incidentally, these dogs of Disha have taken me to a different planet, which I never realized existed, where there is full of unconditional love and loyalty and generosity and courage and humility and so on. So anyway, one day my daughter Disha and I were there in the car and we had parked it for the signal to change. Out from the flyover came a small beggar boy with shining eyes looking at me like this. And that day I had nothing to give. I said, sorry, beta, aaj to kuch nahi hai dene ke liye. You know what he did? He had a 1-flower bouquet, which he gives it to my daughter Disha and tells her, ma'am, ye aapke liye hai aur iske liye aapko kuch dene ki zarurat nahi hai. I was left wondering ki ameer kaun hai aur gareeb kaun hai? Are we rich? We seem to have everything. Yet, honestly, how often have we thought of helping the poor and the needy? Is that little boy poor? I don't think so, because he had no problem in giving the only thing he had, which could have been his passport for the next meal. He had no issues in parting with it. So generosity, the power to give, is not a function of the bank balance. It's a state of the mind, it's a state of the heart. We can be very rich and generous without much money in the bank, because richness is a quality of the being, of the soul. Courage, himmat, sahas. I have 2 stories here. Little Braveheart battles leopard and hero dies in hospital. Because of shortage of time, I'll just share one. Hero dies in hospital. You can see the picture here, not very clearly. This is Mohammad Javed, 18 saal ka bacha. He looks like a Bollywood rock star. Bahut saal pehle ki baat hai. This incident happened in the outskirts of Meerut, called Victoria Park. Pankaj ji might recollect. There was an exhibition there and lots of people there, and suddenly, because of short circuit, it caught fire. It was a raging inferno, आग ही आग. तो आग वहां पे और मोहम्मद जावेद यहाँ पे, उसको सिर्फ एक काम करना था, घर जाना था. But he's not ordinary. He doesn't go home. You know what he does? He jumps in the fire, saves a little girl, puts her down, doesn't go home now. Jumps in the fire again, saves a little boy, puts him down, doesn't go home even now. Jumps again and yet again. On that fateful day, saves 4 small children from certain death. In the process, gets 90% burns. Is admitted in the Safdarjung hospital, from where later he dies. Hero dies in hospital. Agar ye hero nahi hai, to hero kaun hai? So his mother was heard weeping and wailing. Mera bachcha kitna khoobsurat tha, jal gaya. अब आप ऐसे लोगों के बारे में, ऐसे बच्चों के बारे में क्या कहेंगे? Even courage, himmat, sahas becomes a small word. All I can say is ये लोग अपनी जान अपने हथेली पे लेके चलते हैं. मर जाते हैं शायद, लेकिन हमेशा जिंदा रहते हैं. In the hearts of the people they touch, they are like this Amar Deep, eternal light of life and love, who live for others and live forever. The last but one value which I'll share now is gratitude, counting blessings. I think the 5th from the bottom, in the 2nd row. I think it was very beautifully mentioned by both Pankaj and Venkatji, that the moment we count our blessings, we have so many things which crores of fellow Indians don't have, or people in the world don't have. Family, spouse, children, parents, whatever, siblings, friends, a good job, a good assignment, something we are doing to make a difference. And most importantly, this. At 62 years of age, every day in the morning when I wake up, I do this. I'm not kidding. Kuch masala baki hai ki ludak chuka hu. Agar ludak chuka hu, to I can't do anything. Agar masala baki hai, to I count my blessings. Thank you, God, one more day to serve. The life energy running inside each one of us. When COVID has plucked so many people, एक पल में सब कुछ ठीक है, अगले पल में कुछ भी ठीक नहीं है. वो इंसान है नहीं दुनिया में. ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ. So the moment we start being grateful and thankful, let me give you in writing that is the surest, quickest, and the easiest way to experience happiness. एक खुशी की लहर दौड़ती है अंदर. Counting blessings. And finally, patriotism, love for the country. We are all global citizens, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, but no harm in loving the country. Most of the stories we have shared so far are true stories, but the two stories I will share for patriotism are not true. They are rhetoric, idealistic. I'm sure some of the young people sitting here, we are all young, of course, we will make it true for all of us. The first is the story of three people, an American, an Indian, and a Japanese, having a cup of coffee. And the point of discussion is, if I'm not this, who would I like to be? So the American says, if I'm not an American, I'd love to be an Japanese. Looks at the Japanese and smiles. So the Japanese smiles and bows and smiles and bows again and says, if I'm not a Japanese, I would love to be an American. So both of them look a little condescendingly at the Indian, as if to tell him, what will you say? We have said it all. Indian proudly gets up and says, if I'm not an Indian, I'll be ashamed. I don't want to be anything but an Indian. Patriotism. The other story on patriotism is that of a traveler who travels from country to country with a one-point agenda. Wherever he goes, he wants to call heaven. So he goes to UK, goes to a phone booth and says, I want to call heaven. How much should I pay? $500. Okay. He goes to UK and says, I want to call heaven. How much should I pay? £250, please. So like that, he travels from country to country. At last comes to India. Wearily, tiredly, enters a phone booth and says, I want to call heaven. How much should I pay? And the phone booth owner says, ₹2, please. This man is stunned, nearly faints out of shock. He says, I paid through my nose, $500, £250. How come it is so economical to call heaven from India? Only ₹2. And the proud phone booth owner says, Sir, aap swarak pahunch chuke hain. Welcome to the only heaven on earth, which is India. From here, calling heaven is a local call, and we charge only ₹2 for local calls. Patriotism. So what is in it for us if we have 3, 4, 5 of these values? And values are clear, zehen mein, bol or karam, inke hisab se hain, we become simple living, high thinking. That way we become very powerful. Couple of things I want to share before I move to the final aspect of our workshop. With the permission, because of the network issue and all, can I just take 5 to 7 minutes more? The first thing I wanted to say was in the aspect of communication. Although language is important, we said it is not the only important thing in communication. So two extreme examples to illustrate that while language is important, no denying that it is not the only important thing. I'm going to say something. You can tell me whether you're able to understand something or not. Let me take a few deep breaths. Okay. A doctor was called to doctor another doctor. With the doctoring doctor, doctor the doctor, doctor in the doctoring doctor's way. With the doctoring doctor, doctor the doctor, doctor in the doctor, doctor's way. Excellent English. Perfect English, perfect language. Nothing was clear, I'm sure. If language was the only important thing, everything should have been clear. Now look at the other extreme example. This is that of my chemistry teacher, good old chemistry teacher in school, who used to bring 2 test tubes to the class, one empty, the other full. And this is what he used to tell us. Don't pour it, pour it. And do this, and do this, and do. Very poor language, but everything was clear. Pour it, meaning pour it slowly, otherwise it will spill. And do, mix it or shake it. Now, I'm not suggesting we should all speak like this. All I'm saying is language is not the only important thing in communication. The other thing which I wanted to share with you was all the religions talk about the same thing. The power, the essence inside us. Bhagavad Gita says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. God is inside us. Islam says, जब खुद की तलाश में निकला तो खुदा को पाया, और खुदा की तलाश में निकला तो खुद को पाया. And the Bible says, the kingdom of heaven is inside of me. How is it different? Let's think about that as well. In the meanwhile, coming to the final segment, a couple of more slides for you about उम्मीद एक ऐसी ऊर्जा है जिसे जिंदगी का कोई भी अंधेरा रोशन किया जा सकता है. As you visualize, so you become. Just do nothing, it is impossible, is one way of looking at it, but with hope and faith, Just do it. Nothing is impossible. I am possible. Be grateful. Count blessings. You can't enjoy a better life unless you appreciate what's already in it. Let's aspire for more, but let's enjoy, let's appreciate, let's be happy about what we already have. And on a humorous vein, wasn't there this also a blessing? In the times of the pandemic, we were able to work from home and for home as well. I'm sure many of us were cutting vegetables and all while attending meetings. But let's not stretch our luck too far, otherwise we might end up like this. Okay, this cannot be success. Lots of friends in the social media, but where are the real friends? We have touched the moon, but we don't know the neighbors. Advanced medicines, but very poor health. High IQ, but hardly any emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, or spiritual quotient or intelligence for that matter. High income, less peace of mind, costly watches, but where the hell is the time? This cannot be success. This also cannot be success. Till about 20, 25 years, we seem to be doing well. We are living, laughing, learning, playing, enjoying life. Then from then on till 65, 70, ऐसे धक्के खा के जिंदगी जीते हैं. मरने से पहले मरते रहते हैं. एक उधार की जिंदगी लड़खड़ाती हुई हर वक्त मरते रहते हैं. हमें मरने से पहले मरना नहीं है. हमें तो मरने के बाद भी जिंदा रहना है. So what is it that we need to do? What is success? Success is laying equal emphasis on work, family, friends, relationships, leisure, personal growth, and spiritual attainment. This is what is called a truly balanced life, which is not only about work and family, that's why I've said work-life plus. It's about all these ingredients. Focus, conserve, compartmentalize. These two, of course, we have discussed, but in detail during the detailed 2-day workshop. Realizing and bringing that treasure island, that force, that power from within. Success is feeling light, beautiful, and stable. हर परिस्थिति में stable रहना, हर interaction में positive energy exchange करना, और हर रिश्ते में देना. Success is santosh, satisfaction. Pankaj ji was talking about this. And success is also khushi, happiness. Success is the journey from icon to icon. Mere liye kya hai? What is in it for me? That is where we are floundering in the journey. We have just started it, icon. But when we have become evolved, progressed in the journey, main aapke liye kya kar sakta hu? How can I serve you? What can I do for you? We have become icons. We have become like these lighthouses who can guide billions of others, who can inspire and ignite people. This is a more balanced, a more successful life. Although I've mentioned fall in love, if love is meant to enrich, elevate, and make us better, then it should be rise in life. It's not fall in love, it is rise in love. John Lennon, the celebrated singer of my time from the Beatles group, you know, when he was small, his teacher was asking the children of his class the same question, the irritating question which people like me ask young children. Beta, zara batao bade hoke kya banoge? Shabash, batao zara. Very irritating question we ask, and we expect them to give answers also. So that was the assignment given to the children that day. Children, what would you like to be when you grow up? So one of his friends got up and said, ma'am, an accountant, doctor, engineer, management, judge, barrister, lawyer. John Lennon's turn came. John, what would you like to be? John said, ma'am, I want to be happy. So teacher said, John, I'm afraid you haven't understood the assignment. You haven't understood my question. And John Lennon replied, madam, I'm afraid you haven't understood life. मुझे शायद आपका सवाल समझ में नहीं आया. आपको तो जिंदगी की समझ नहीं ऐसा लगता है. So there is this book called Acres of Diamonds, written by Russell Cornwell. Acres of Diamonds tells us the story of a poor man who sells his house and goes far and wide in search of diamonds. And the story goes on to say that at the end of a certain point of search, the man is not able to find the diamonds. He has lost all his money, which he made by selling the house. His health is about tottering. Ek zinda lash ki tarah ghum raha hai. No diamonds, nothing. And ironically, the person who bought the house from the small poor man finds the diamonds in the backyard of that very house. Isn't that the same case with happiness? Kahan dhoondte hain? Relationships, situations, acquisitions, achievements, that which is not only inside of us, but is us. The definition is we are happy beings. The bottle, the cup of happiness is already full, already bharpoor hoke aaye hain yahan pe. हमें सिर्फ जैसे वो सर्कस में जोकर्स टाइट रोप वॉकिंग करते हैं, in this tight rope walking called life, we just have to ensure that we don't spill from the cup. Every time we get angry or upset or irritated, we are spilling from the cup. और हम समझते हैं कि खुश नहीं है. खुश तो हम हमेशा से ही थे, लेकिन खुशी को संभालना, मेंटेन करना हमें नहीं आया, क्योंकि हम बाहर देख रहे हैं. The universe, as was pointed out by the other eminent speakers, inside of us, the entire answers are available here. We are born privileged and programmed to be happy, just like this program, software, systems are programmed for software. JATC syndrome mein mat padiyega. Just around the corner. If only this relationship will work, I'll be happy. If I get that job, I'll be happy. If I get a promotion, I'll be happy. If I get an increment, I'll be happy. If I go there, I'll be happy. We are postponing happiness, making it dependent on things which are not in our control. So we are hardly ever happy. Happiness is here and now. It's not a consequence. It's a beginning point. Khushi se rishta nibhana. Khushi se kaam karna. See how the world changes, how the relationships change. Nas nas mein khushi hai, ya honi chahiye. A to Z of happiness is what I discuss in my 2-day workshops. Here I'll just share A, B, C, D's of happiness because of shortage of time. The cup is already full. Instead of give and take may be good in business. In life, it has to be, in relationships, it has to be give and give. A for accept, appreciate. B for be, balance, be in the moment. Zindagi ye pal, har khushi bhi yahi pal. We learn from the past, plan for the future, but stay rooted in the present. Pankaj was talking about regrets and anxieties. That is because we are always in the doing mode. We are human beings. Let us be in the being mode, and that can be only in this present moment. When Albert Einstein was asked the secret of his success, you know what he said? When I comb my hair, I comb my hair. मैं जब बाल बनाता हूँ, बाल ही बनाता हूँ. I don't think about theory of relativity. I just stay rooted in the moment, even for mundane activities. C for count blessings, create thoughts of happiness. And D, dharma. Satyam vada dharmam chara. That is, lead a life of values, lead a life of dharma. S, if you want to write a plural, A, B, C, D's of happiness, S could be for simple, spiritual, smile, serve. Paropakarartham idam shariram. The trees give fruits and flowers. Rivers flow for others. Cows give milk for everybody. Our body is meant to serve others. Paropakarartham idam shariram. These are the new paradigms. A person goes and approaches a monk and shouts, I want to be happy. And the monk softly, gently says, remove want, that is desire. Remove I, that is ego. What is left? You're already happy. Why are you so happy? And the other man says, I have no idea. I don't know why I'm so happy. Isn't this better? Be happy for no reason. If you are happy for a reason, you are in trouble because that reason can be taken away. Where did you find that? I've been looking for it everywhere. I created happiness myself. That's where I found it. The best way to multiply. See, happiness defies laws of finance and mathematics. You know, it multiplies when you actually divide it. When you share it with others, it multiplies. I've got a poster for you to see. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases from being shared. Very few quality in this world which, while giving, seems to increase in you, doesn't decrease. The other is smile. Smile is the shortest distance between two people. This is something which we discussed over this time, and we can discuss more when we meet again. I think this thought we can create every day. I'm a blissful being, Sachidananda. My every thought creates happiness and health. Well, this is the final slide. What is the purpose of my life? My 5 blessings for which I am thankful and grateful. The 5 values I would like to internalize, and how would I like to be remembered? I'm just going to take 5 more minutes and I'm going to stop. Sorry for, and thanks for your generosity. When I ask this question in my workshops, I get all kinds of answers. Here, I'm not able to ask and listen to your views because of shortage of time. Things like, I want to be remembered as a good person, as a person who worked hard, as a person who contributed. Fair enough. But my only request, my only rider, gentle rider is, if we want to be remembered as somebody, let us make sure we are that somebody. We cannot be what we are and expect the world to remember us in noble ways. That may not happen. Alfred Nobel learned it the hard way. एक दिन बड़े शान से एक चाय पी रहे थे अखबार को देखते हुए. And then he realized, to his shock and horror, that there was an obituary. His obituary was there staring at him. वो तो जिंदा थे, but श्रद्धांजलि की picture ऐसे देख रही थी उन्हें. So that was the shock number 1. You know, Alfred Nobel, as you would know, he was credited, or rather discredited, with the discovery of the dynamite. So it was a small but important misunderstanding that occurred. His brother had died, but the newspaper people thought that he was dead and promptly wrote his obituary. So that was the shock number 1. ये गोविंदा के pictures रहते आते थे, hero number 1, BV number 1, Anadi number 1, Chachi number 1. This was the shock number 1. There was another shock also, shock number 2. कहियों के अच्छे श्रद्धांजलि आ जाते हैं, अच्छे नेक इंसान थे, नेक कर्म किया, सेवा की. इनके श्रद्धांजलि का headline, the merchant of death dies, good riddance to bad rubbish. This was the Shraddhanjali, because the poor chap had discovered dynamite. He was horrified to realize that the world is going to remember him this way after he died. And he didn't want to be remembered that way. Who would? Then he set up the Nobel Peace Foundation. Today, Sir Alfred Nobel, as he is called, is remembered more for the Nobel Prize than for the dynamite. उनको वो मौका मिला. क्या मौका? जीते जी obituary देखना. हमें शायद वो मौका नहीं मिलेगा. So it is, if we are able to decide how we want to be remembered right now, everything else will fall in place. Life can be then backwards. Now, just 2 little things and it's over. This is a 500 rupee note. What is this? This is also a 500 rupee note. This note is wrinkled and crumpled and crushed, but nothing has happened to its internal intrinsic value. It still remains 500. I don't want anything like this to happen to any of you, but regardless of that, sometime we might feel wrinkled and crumpled and crushed like this note. We might feel pushed to that corner because of some wrong decision that we made, somebody backstabbing us, backbiting us, playing politics, and we feel worthless. Always remember, dear friends, that regardless of what happens to us, our intrinsic divine light remains unfazed, unblemished. We are, and we will always be, precious and priceless. We are driving through a busy highway and there is a big stone right in the middle of the highway. What do most of us do? We go around the stone. वही नहीं 2-4 बातें देश के बारे में भी कहते हुए जाएंगे, इस देश का इसलिए सत्यानाश हो रहा है, ये वो. I would like to think that when some of us are driving, we will stop the car, get out of the car, heave and push and pant and sweat and move the stone away. Who knows, when we come back to where the stone was, we can see a small piece of paper on which could well be written the words in gold, Sunehare Aksharon mein, invisible but true and powerful, that you are the true wealth of the nation. You are the leaders and nation builders. You are the nation's wealth. You're always special. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope there are ladies here too. I haven't seen any. I think very many things that we discussed and you also contributed very beautifully. Before I break for questions and answers, I would like to state here very humbly that I personally believe that one of the major highlights of this little capsule workshop that we had were the number of emotional, moving, and very powerful stories that we shared. So as a tribute to storytelling, because facts tell, but stories sell, they reinforce the concepts. As a tribute to the storytelling way of workshops, I'm going to end this workshop with the final story of the session. This is the story of a school teacher who gives an assignment to her young children. And the assignment is, she asked them to list the top seven wonders of the world, Dunya ke saath ajube. So after some discussions and voting, the following seven wonders emerge. Taj Mahal of India, the stunning symbol of love. Egypt's Great Pyramids, Grand Canyon, Panama Canal, Empire State Building, St. Peter's Basilica, and the Great Wall of China. The teacher observes that one little girl was squirming, fidgeting, as if tentative, hesitant, unsure, uncertain. So she approaches the child and says, "Beta, is something bothering you? Can I help you?" And the girl says, "Ma'am, I don't know. I have written something. Aapko dekhna padega." So the teacher, when she looks at what the little girl had written, she comes back to the podium and shares with the rest of the class what that little child had written. The little girl had written, "I think the seven wonders are or should be to touch, to taste, to see, to hear, to feel, to laugh, and to love." A small, gentle reminder to all of us that some of our most precious things are right here, whether it's our great country, whether it's our family, our friends, our work, our colleagues. Let us never, ever take them for granted. The fact that all of you, such accomplished, successful people from all over the globe came here and listened to me with so much of affection and respect, love and dignity, to me is as beautiful, as interesting, as exciting, and as wonderful as any of the wonders of the world. Thank you. God bless. Stay safe, and Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ramanan. I think, as usual, my God, you covered the true meaning of life in these 75 minutes in various forms. Whether you are 50 odd of the values which you touched upon, simple stories from many of us I know who don't know how to speak English, and the whole life goes on learning language, because that's what communication. Your simple story of your chemist teacher, and that too shows that the language is not in the language per se, it is the art of communication you touched upon. You touched upon everybody, waiting for a day will come when I can go and rest on my laurels. Your rest and relaxation, enjoyment, and happiness is at the moment. The life and death is one breath away, and you told us that how you live in this moment, not other moment, in the form and manner you need to do. Above all, for all this, it is important for you to have an integrity, which is part and parcel of it. When you go into the list of what you mean by TQP and the 10 commandments which you talked about, beautifully summarized, which you are do it in 3, 4 days, 5 days sessions. And above all, the last one which you talked about, arbitrary, to say that every day I can think of that I am in the deathbed, and then how people come and talk about myself shows that how I'm living myself. If I want to be like that, I should live today, because today could be my last day. Who knows what I'm there? And it was so valuable. And of course, I can go on with your Everest story and examples. I mean, now I don't need to refer to any notes. It's all there here, part of me. That's your ability of teaching skills and imparting skills, of making it, instead of doing the activity, you are in the being state, and that infectious is really touched upon. Everybody is engulfed in that ocean of honey and love of your, your wisdom. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. I'll open up some questions. If there are any questions, you can just type it out, or you can just, raise your hand. I can unmute yourself. Okay, so when I'm waiting for the questions, I will shoot the first question to Ramanan sir.
And before that, Venkatji, I just want to acknowledge the presence of Pankaj Jainji here and Hemant. So I'm just seeing them. Thank you for your participation. Over to you, Venkatji.
Thank you, Ji. So, Ji, it's especially for the youngsters, and a lot of ladies also there in this team today. It is also going live. See, one of the thing is, always one of the issue with, any such talks of very valuable, you get energized, goosebumps comes, and you stand up and think that you are against one. Tomorrow life changes, and when you go to sleep, and the next day morning, life goes back to routine, right? In terms of, it hits, the truth hits, and then all these notes will be there, but then life cycle goes on. So, what could be the, for the people who listen to you, what could be the simple steps they can start at this moment and also going forward? Very, very simple steps.
Actually, that's a very, first of all, thank you very much, Venkatji, for summarizing and making your all value contributions so beautifully. And as I said, with so much of enthusiasm and passion. So thank you for that. And your question, your point is so well taken. So what do we do? So, three things I want to mention here. That is why we were having those assignments, which I was telling you about. We had a one-day workshop with the directors and top management of Prudentia Group, as also the institution in Ghaziabad. And for example, the Prudentia Group, at the end of the day, we decided, the directors and I, to open a center there called Center for Human Values and Potential, where we thought of exploring the take-homes of this workshop, say a dozen or so, or whatever, 12, 15, 20 take-homes in this workshop, practically in our personal and professional lives, by living those kinds of values and seeing the benefits. So we had the entire organization was participating in discussions, but we had small groups and individual one-to-one confidential discussions and counseling sessions as well, and mentoring sessions. So the feedback I got was what I just mentioned, that TQP was helping them enrich their relationships, because they realized that till then people were, why are relationships cracking? Because nobody wants to listen to anybody. We all want to take. Somebody wants to take love. Somebody wants to grab respect. Somebody wants to have appreciation. We don't want to give anything because we don't have anything to give. Khokhle ban chuke hain. Lifetime after lifetime, the original sanskars have been, I won't say replaced, but superimposed by things like anger and jealousy and greed and so on. So we have to go deep, dig deep to realize who we are. So what was happening was, when we are in the taking mode and nobody has anything to give, rishte to bikhrenge hi. But when we start realizing that this is what we are this huge power, this essence, the divine spark, we are Atman, Brahman, then where is the question of taking? Already hum sampurna hai, bharpur hai, full, we are full. So why should we take? We give. You want love? Give it. You want respect? Give it, and see how the relationships change. So they started realizing that their relationships are becoming better. They are happier. And that is helping them contribute more at the workplace. They were becoming more productive also. Everything else remaining the same. The deadlines were met. The projects were completed earlier. Because when they are happily working, the quality of work was huge. Now, the second thing which I wanted to mention here was, your question is so well taken. In my detailed workshops, I have what is called a spiritual diary. Look, I don't know how many of you maintain diaries. I have this diary which I maintain every day, in which I write with pens of all colors, black, blue, red, green, and all. And today, right after the workshop, I'll be making this entry that, these are the color entries, that I met such great professionals and people like all of you. Now, in my detailed workshops, I have what is called a spiritual diary, in which I give 20 things, very simple to-do list. For example, one could be, today I'm not going to get angry. Come what may, whatever be the provocation, I won't be angry today. Aaj din pe main gussa nahi karunga. So at the end of the day, how did it help you personally in your growth as a person, in your evolution as a human being? How did it improve your relationships? Write it down on a journal and call it your spiritual journal or spiritual diary. Next day could be, I'm going to listen to understand the deep communication of another human soul. I'm going to create this emotional bank accounts. Again, at the end of the day, how did it improve me personally? Made me a better person? How did it improve my relationships? Another day, I'm not going to be judgmental today. आप हमेशा लेट आते हैं, हमेशा झूठ बोलते हैं, आप हमेशा ये करते हैं. Because then one finger is pointing there, three are pointing here, and the thumb is pointing towards God. So let's not be judgmental. Expect there is misery. Accept and there is peace. By accepting, we are not necessarily agreeing. We are just accepting that people and situations will be different than what we had imagined. 5 उंगली एक बराबर नहीं है हमारे खुद के, तो अलग अलग इंसान एक जैसे कैसे हो सकते हैं? Marriages are breaking up because we want our spouses to be our clones. That's not going to happen. So no judgment that day. I'm going to accept people as they are. I'm going to accept the situations as they are. And then I will see how to go about it. Again, write it down. Another day could be serve, seva, another quick fire way of experiencing happiness. You know, I had a great workshop with the top management of Delhi Metro when Sridharan Saab was there. 300 of their top managers, Sridharan Saab himself, directors, executive directors, they all participated. And then Sridharan Saab told me that was so riveting and mesmerizing that I could not move. And then till the time he retired, he kept sending people to my workshops saying that go and learn. So, you know, Delhi Metro, I see values like this because all over the NCR, I don't drive or anything. I just take the metro. So youngsters getting up and offering the seat to me or people like me, senior citizens. So I accept the offer, even if I don't require it, unless the student concerned is studying. Then I don't disturb them. I said, beta, pado, I'm fine. Otherwise, I accept the seat because seva process, when it begins, has to be allowed to be completed so that the person who's giving seva is happy and the recipient of the seva is also happy. And happiness, smile, you know, peace, and, you know, these are the original qualities. When we experience this, I would like to think that that youngster is going to display the same values elsewhere. See, जब भी गुस्सा करते हैं या चिड़चिड़ापन, we later regret, gosh, why did I lose my cool? Why did I lose my temper? Because these are not original qualities. We were not meant to be like this. These are acquired artificial qualities जो जिंदगी से सीख चुके हैं. And therefore, this battery has become the soul. The energy has become depleted and discharged. So inverter की battery जैसे, we have to connect it to the power source, Paramatma. That is meditation. So like this, Venkat Saab, there are about 20 things. And then, you know, and then a long-standing interaction to ensure that these take-homes are truly applicable and how we can fine-tune these applications and get the benefits in our personal and professional life.
Super. So Pankaj would like to ask some question. Yes, Pankaj.
Hello, Venkatji, am I audible?
Yes, it's very clear.
Yeah. So I want to thank Ramnan Saab for a great presentation. It was very mesmerizing and I just remained here. So my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to him. And I just have one small question that when I teach my students in many parts of the world, they are somehow not able to understand the depth. एक होता है ना, जैसे somebody if you tell अरे भाई ये आग है इसमें हाथ मत डालो जल जाओगे, तो नहीं हम तो पहले डालेंगे और जलेंगे फिर देखेंगे. So life का जो जर्नी है ना, like everybody is having problem and they want to go from nobody to somebody, and in that process destroying many things and without realizing that all is already with you. जो मैं कह रहा था ना कि जो प्राप्त है वो पर्याप्त है.
बिल्कुल.
होता है कि शुक्राना, सबराना, रजा में राजी, मुखलिस एंड इखलास, जो 5 प्रिंसिपल भी हैं सूफिज्म के फॉर हैप्पीनेस.
करेक्ट.
बट इन बच्चों को बताओ तो थोड़ा सा वो मतलब मुश्किल होता है उनको कन्विंस करना. एंड सो आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क यू दैट व्हाट मी एज अ प्रोफेसर और अदर पीपल, बिकॉज सी हम लोग कई बार बहुत वो बिगड़ हो जाते हैं बड़े वाले, जैसे एक लोग कहो कि नहीं भाई अपने लिए भी टाइम निकालना है, नो बॉस है ये है, आई कांट डू इट, एंड वी आर इन दैट विशियस साइकिल. बट बच्चों के लेवल पे एंड यंग स्टूडेंट एंड प्रोफेशनल्स, इफ वी डू समथिंग it can make a bigger impact, and what would be your recommendation to do? And I have one suggestion here. I can see you're a very much very deep person and you talk about the being part of leadership. अभी जो श्रीकांत दादार की बुक आई थी ना, रीथिंकिंग MBA, where he also says कि doing and having से हटके में कहा जाना है, we have to go to the being part. तो उसके लिए if you may be interested, we can create some nice educational material, because I had given suggestion to the ministry. तो वो प्रोग्राम था ना, टीचर टू गुरु प्रोग्राम एंड इंटीग्रेटिंग एथिक्स इन मैनेजमेंट करिकुलम. तो ये मैंने अपनी हम्बल कैपेसिटी में कुछ करा दिया था, बट आई विल बी नीडिंग योर हेल्प एंड आई थिंक वी कैन कोलैबोरेट इन क्रिएटिंग सच वीडियोस एंड अदर, इफ यू मे बी.
Definitely Pankaj ji, that will be my pleasure, privilege and honor to be of any kind of seva, and I would look forward to that, in fact. In fact, we were almost, we ended up meeting in Jaipur in your previous institution. That for some reason could not happen, but I'm hoping and looking forward to meeting you soon, because now you have come to NCR, Jindal. So let us see how we can meet. Definitely looking forward to that. And I totally agree with you regarding the young generation. In fact, this 45, 50, I'm not very tech savvy. I'm there only in Facebook and WhatsApp. So in Facebook, Amrinder would know, we are Facebook friends with all our passed out students. तो उनके birthday में wish करना, and so Hemant is here, Deepak is also here. So it's a matter of really it's a delightful experience to have some kind of a virtual classroom kind of a thing going on in our hearts and in our minds and in Facebook and WhatsApp, where one is still trying to be there, listening to my dear passed out students and offering some suggestion or advice wherever required. Because, and one of the feedback which I get from some of them is, sir, aapne jo us waqt bataya, wo abhi kaam aa raha hai, now we realize what that is all about. So it's just a question of doing our best for the children. Like we have children at home, we have those children outside our home in the campuses, and laying that foundation. There are certain of them who will experience, I'm sure, then and there itself. Others, things are going inside, and the life's journey will, I'm sure, I hope and pray will make them realize the importance of all this. The feedback we got from some of the corporate organizations in the institute where Hemant and Deepak and others passed out Srisam was that our students were able to withstand pressure and things like stress and worry and those things, tension, in a better way as compared to students from other institutions, maybe because of the value foundation that they got. So these kinds of things is just a question of going on with a lot of hope and optimism. But you're very right, Pankajji, we need to do a lot more work on this, and I would look forward to working with you on this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So let me take because it's just time is running off. Yeah. So let me call Dr. Amarendra Kumar for giving a certificate to the speaker. Over to you, Dr. Amarendra.
Yes, sir. So I request Dr. Ramanan to stop sharing your screen, sir. Is visible?
Not yet. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, sir. Thank you from the bottom of our heart for taking time from your busy schedule to be the guest speaker, eminent speaker of this seminar. Your presence and wise words help magnify our cause in the best possible way. So thank you once again, sir.
Thank you all very much. It does mean a lot to me that professionals of your caliber chose to invite me and participated so beautifully. We had some wonderful presentations also today from Pankaj and Venkat and Amrinder, of course. And one, jise kehte hain, Sone pe Suhaga, the icing on the cake. Dear smiling Hemant is right here, and I saw Deepak was also in the beginning. So thank you very much. God bless you all. Namaste.
Thank you. So let me invite our the man behind many of the initiatives, very silent but well accomplished, our dear friend CMA Pankaj Jain. I don't know how he gets energy, for this young man to carry on with this kind of so many initiatives. So he was our past president of ISMA. He's a chief mentor for Jain Ventures, and he's also advisor to this the third association which is organizing this event, which is Bharat Global MSP, for his concluding remarks. Over to you, Dr. Pankaj Jain. Yaji, we can't hear you. Pankaj sir, we can't hear you. Pankaj is in the car.
Actually, he's driving, so he had some program, and that was a sudden program. He has to go somewhere in nearby NCR. So, Pankajji.
From one Pankajji to the other Pankajji.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pankaj Janji.
I have a long association with Pankaj Jainji also. He is a great,
Yeah.
energetic man. And I very well feel very happy that such a forum has been created of the CMAs. Because, I was earlier associated
Pankaj,
with.
some attempt at humor by the time we are waiting for Pankaj Jainji. So suppose both of you are there in the same hall and somebody says Pankaj Ji. So which Pankaj Ji responds?
They say Pankaj is senior, Pankaj is junior, like that we have to say. Pankaj sir, we can't hear you.
I think he's just speaking, but somewhere.
पंकज जी का वो म्यूट लगा हुआ है.
Yeah.
In fact, he.
Okay, so what we'll do is we will hear from our another good friend, though it's a word of thanks, but in case Pankaj ji coming back, we can just hear him out. CMA VB Chalabudi Rao from Gabon. He's calling from another fantastic country. I've been there many times, so he's addressing from there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. It gives me a great pleasure to deliver vote of thanks for this event to all the dignitaries assembled here. I would like to thank our Honorable Chief Guest, CMA Dr. Pankaj Gupta ji, who honored this occasion and gave his valuable time from his very busy schedule. I also extend my gratitude to our eminent speaker, Dr. C.V. Ramanan ji, who agreed to grace this function by his inspirational thoughts. I would also like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of the webinar, members, students, participants, volunteers, etc. for their presence and contribution to make this event a great success. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our event chairman and moderator, who is a very good orator, CMA Padmanabhan ji, our beloved president, Sri Arminder ji, and definitely our founder and mentor of ISMA, Pankaj Jain ji. We hope you all have enjoyed the presentation. I once again thank one and all present here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So Pankaj ji, are you able to speak? Pankaj ji is on a mute.
In fact, he's facing some network issue. So he
Okay.
called me. He's not able to, even he is speaking, but not audible to us. So he asked to go ahead with this program.
Okay. So his blessings are there. He is, his dashing personality, we all can see. Thank you, sir. Have a great day ahead, a great week ahead with all the, we all now had a good bath of spiritualities and positivity. Let's keep it part of it and make it being part of being of us. And let's lead our life very happily hereafter. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.
Namaskar. Bye.
Thank you, sir.